So let's bring the discussion home. If the entity is operating within this highly competitive environment and there are big players in the market, then the entity has to position itself strategically in the market. And that leads us to a 10 marks question standalone that the examiner can access. And that is the Michael Porter 6 Principles of Market Positioning. It's a standalone 10 marks question that the examiner can access, giving guidelines and explaining how an entity can position itself in the marketplace. Now, this is available in the book under Porter's, after Porter's generic, because I want to show you here on page 52 of the book. Okay, on page 52 of the book. 6 principles of strategic market positioning. So Michael Porter says that if an entity can achieve sustainable competitive advantage, looking at the highly competitive environment that we are in, there are 6 principles that they must follow. And those principles will guide the various things that the entity can do and cannot do. And so we can contextualize this in our case study. The first principle is having the right goal. Okay? The strategic goal of the company. The strategic goal of the company should be to achieve superior long-term returns on investment. That's the first thing. The goal of the company should be to achieve superior long-term profitability. But if you look at this board we have in the company, where there are a lot of accountants on the board, it's likely that they may be pursuing short-term profitability at the expense of long-term strategic goals, long-term maximization of the wealth of the shareholders. So Destiny Group must avoid chasing growth in too many unrelated sectors like real estate, agriculture, security, unless they reinforce logistics. Because really, the entity's core mandate, like what they really breathe, is the logistics. Why are you pursuing agriculture? What are you doing in salt production? Like how? Do you have a fragmented company like that? So focus. Maximize margin in core logistics or aviation through efficient and premium services. That is the first thing. The entity must have a right goal. The goal they must have must help to achieve superior profitability, returns on investment. So not just growing. So the board will sit somewhere and say, yeah, we are the group CEO. I'm the group board chairman of Destiny Group. We are into salt production. We are into agriculture. We are into architecture. We are into logistics. Monklape for noe. Pa kontombre froye. How much profit did you earn? So you are doing all of these things, but the wealth of the shareholders is not being maximized. That is what empire building is about. So sometimes management may be building empire just to make them feel good. So on the outside, you would think they have something big. But when you get closer, you realize that the entity is bleeding. The entity is not profitable. It is not managing its cash very well. Doesn't have the money to be able to pay short-term debt as they fall due. It's having solvency problems, and it's looking for money every now and then. But you are big. Having the right goal. Then Michael Porter said, the second principle is the entity must offer unique value proposition. Whatever the strategy the entity decides to pursue, it must help the entity to offer unique value proposition. Value proposition simply means, what is it that you can give customers that will convince them to do business with you that they wouldn't get from anywhere? What makes you different? What sets you apart in the market? That is the value proposition of the company. And so for our Destiny Group discussion, The strategy must deliver distinctive mix of value. Destiny, they are the first Ghanaian freight forwarder with air carrier license. They have partnership with global aviation. They have integrated shipping, aviation plus logistics under one umbrella. This positions them as a one-stop logistics provider in West Africa. That's great. So like we were saying earlier, Jenny Kwako, somebody will come and, he will do different things, do different things, do different things. Aviation is different. Logistics is different. Shipping is different. No, 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 no. You want to ship? Where is it coming from? We got you. You want to do air? We got you. When it reach Ghana, you want it to get to your warehouse or your factory? We got you. So, Jenny, you're now going to be jumping from one company for shipping, one company for the logistics from the port to your warehouse. No, everything is one. That is the unique value proposition. 3, Michael Porter said, the company must understand its value chain. So there should be a distinctive value chain. In our case here, competitive advantage comes from activities performed differently. So Destiny Group's distinctive value chain include the shared usage of fleets. Why is this good? Because there is cost efficiency there and it results into sustainable practices at the end of the day. Specialized warehousing, temperature control, secured areas, ERP and WMS integration with clients for inventory management. So it tells you that on the value chain of any customer that wants to do business with us, we have something distinctively that we can offer. Again, these activities make them more efficient and responsive than their fragmented rivals. So your goal should be to maximize the wealth of the shareholders. In the long term, the company should be able to have sustainable profitability. Jenny, you are just growing, not you are just expanding by heart. Number 2, there should be distinctive value proposition. A unique value proposition. Something that separates us from everybody in the market, something that positions us so that customers will be happy to work with us, to do business with us. Then number 3, distinctive value chain. The 4th thing that Michael Porter talked about is that the selected strategy will involve some trade-off. If we decide that we're going to focus on long-term profitability, if we decide that we're going to have unique value proposition, if we decide that we're going to understand the value chain, there will be trade-off. There are things we cannot do. Because you see, companies cannot be everything for everyone. It will be wrong for a company to think that it can serve all customers. No. There are some customers we can serve. There are some strategies we can pursue. There are some businesses we can undertake. There are some we cannot. And it's okay. The company, management, the board must be convinced that not everybody's childhood dream can be realized with the company. There will always be trade-off. That is the 4th thing that we must understand here. So the strategy requires choosing what not to do. Destiny Group must avoid competing purely on price, as we mentioned earlier. And number 2, over-diversifying into non-core sectors that dilutes the focus. Instead, they should prioritize premium logistics and aviation services where they have unique strength. So maybe the CEO's childhood dream was to have a salt production. Maybe when the CEO was a child, he grew up in that community. And so he loves salt. And so now, as he is a CEO of a company, he thinks his emotions are guiding him. Oh, let's go into salt production. Maybe the board chairman or the board chairperson is a farmer. She's been farming and she understands that people are making money in agriculture. Why not we also go into agriculture? No, mom. Your childhood dream cannot be realized with this company. There must be trade-off. Because we are talking about market positioning. How can we define what Destiny Group is? How do you define Destiny Group? If you are not profitable enough, if you don't have unique value propositions, if you don't understand the value chain and offer those distinct services, if you don't understand that there are trade-offs, it's not everything we can do. Michael Porter then said, all of these elements in the strategy connect with each other. And so the chain must link together to reinforce each other. Because everything that we are doing must be linked with each other. It's not that they are distinct on their own at the end of the day. And so here, success comes from reinforcing linkage between activities. For example, the aviation cargo fleet must complement the shipping, which is the sea. Warehousing must integrate with the ERP system to support clients' supply chain. Corporate social responsibility and sustainability enhances the brand and the reputation of the company and attracts multinational clients. So not only are we giving scholarship to students, not only are we constructing buildings, schools, and others. No. We must see it that we are doing these corporate social responsibilities. It's enhancing our reputation. We must see that it will attract some clients and some types of talents into the entity. So that if somebody is kicking against a corporate social responsibility strategy that we want to implement, we'll let them understand that this one too is necessary because it links with every other thing that we are doing as a company. If we have good reputation, we get free press, free promotion, we get a lot of customers coming in, and we get access to funding at lower interest rates, the company can be more profitable, and you will also benefit as a member of the board, so understand it. Then the last thing is this, that there should be continuity in strategic direction. Continuity. Having chosen its strategies and the direction it wants to take its business, the company should apply the strategy consistently. Now, if you remember, this goes to session 1 where we spoke about, because strategy must be consistently executed over a long period of time. And that is the sixth thing that we must understand here. Continuity of strategy. Strategy must be consistent over time to build reputation and capacity. As Destiny Group wants to be the best in Africa and intra-Africa trade, continuity for them will mean long-term investment in ports, sustained focus on aviation and logistics integration, and building trust with the government, community, and clients. According to Michael Porter, these are the 6 key principles that an entity must follow in order to strategically position itself in the marketplace. And that brings me to the end of industry analysis. So if you learned something from this video, remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share the video so that others can also see this. Most importantly, let me hear from you if there are any questions you have, or if you have any topic that you would want me to cover on the next episode, leave it in the comment section. I want to read from you. If you want to enroll as well in our courses to study under my mentorship for your ICA, ACCA, SEMA, or ICAG examination, you can head on to our website, NhyiraPremium.com, or download the Nhyira Premium mobile application on the Google Play Store or the App Store to complete your enrollment. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp or call us 050-114-9296. 050-114-9296. Complete your enrollment today to join our community. Let me hold your hand, provide you with the blueprint that you need with the team here. Let us assist you. This is our mission. This is what we do. This is what we are called for. And we have the resources the skills, the expertise needed to help you to pass the examination. So visit our website, NhyiraPremium.com, to read more about us, or better still, download the Nhyira Premium mobile application on the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. You want to get personal? Hit us with a DM or send us a message on WhatsApp 050-114-9296. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.